Good morning, everyone. This is Melissa. Thank you for joining us today. For those who are listening to this for the first time, this is our weekly, daily Khora community, and you can find out more information in the description box below, finding all different websites of myself, of my beloved partner Jason Shivers, and my amazing friend and leader of the Khora community, founder of the Khora community, Karina Springer. So check out the description box below to visit some sites that are a wealth of knowledge and resources to you. So yesterday we kind of left off talking about the Great Attractor, and I'm excited to get into what I'm going to share with you all today. We have a full moon coming up on June 3rd, the Sagittarius full moon at 11:43 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the moon is at 13 degrees, 18 minutes of Sagittarius. And again, with full moons, they're always opposite. So the sun is in the opposite sign of Gemini at 13 degrees and 18 minutes. The two gene keys that this corresponds with are the 35th and the 5th. And before I get into how we've been here before, let's just go step by step. So Sagittarius is about learning, higher education, accumulation of knowledge, how we think. Within the sign of Sagittarius is also where the hidden 13th sign is, Ophiuchus. And Ophiuchus is often associated with the hidden mystery schools of Isis, Kundalini activations, sacred union, very mystical, again, very hidden. It's not often talked about. And going back to Gemini, where we are currently with the sun, remembering back definitely into December, Mars was in Gemini for 6 months, for a period of 6 months. And Mars here retrograde, we talked about how there was a reprogramming of the mind. And Mars was being forced to slow down in that mental realm. With Mars retrograde in Gemini, it was being invited and encouraged to not jump to conclusions or respond too hastily or quickly. So things that you might typically do or say or think, we were forced to think things through a little bit more in order to see more perspectives, in order to see from that other side of the coin, to see from the other person's shoes. Gemini, there's always going to be a little bit of that duality, right? Like both sides of the coin. So Mars here retrograding for 6 months, this was where our mental bodies, I felt, were being recalibrated in order to understand. Perhaps there is another way of viewing things, understand more of the bigger picture, understand where another person is coming from, and accumulating this knowledge base as we move forward. Then, as we know, Mars went into Cancer, where the same thing was being happened. It was slowed down. Mars in Cancer is not fast. And this was where our emotional body was being reprogrammed, where then Mars was meant to feel everything. and to sit in those rising emotions, those suppressed, repressed emotions as they rise to the surface. So Mars wasn't able to act right away. There was like this whole reboot of the masculine. And when I say the masculine, this is our own inner masculine archetype, like how we act, our motivation, our inspiration, our ways of doing things, of expressing out in the world, as well as the other layers of the masculine as well. We can take this all the way out to actual gender if you want to, but really this is an internal thing. Like you have to look at these energies again as masculine yang, feminine yin. Okay, feminine being just receiving, feeling, the receptivity. Okay. The sun, as I mentioned, is in Gemini right now. And the sun in Gemini is curious. It seeks to understand things. It wants stimulation. Mental activity is heightened. Now, Gemini is an air sign. There's all different sides of the coin that it wants to see. So there's just a lot of activity there. And so with this time right now, we could start having these new awarenesses about how you want to think about something. Perhaps we always thought about something in one way, it had to be a certain way, but over the course of the, couple of years, but last few months, it's like there's something that we're being asked to look at in a new light, to be able to feel something in a new way, and then to be able to courageously move forward in this new direction based on all of these repatternings and recalibrations and purging and healing, all of this just being reprogrammed so that we can rebirth the masculine, rebirth essentially ourselves and how we act in the world, how we feel about things, reigniting our curiosity, and then having the courage to follow through on that. The sun in Gemini, there's this solar, the sun, there's a solar consciousness of what you're meant to see now, revealing more choices or more options that we're now seeing in a new way, perhaps that we didn't see before. And if we want to view the sun in Gemini as our own mind, then we can perhaps we can look now at the opposite side of this axis where the moon is. And the moon is conjunct the great attractor. And the great attractor is essentially the collective mind. It's like all of it. It's all perspectives. It's very expansive. It's a giant portal outside of our galaxy. It's like this cosmic magnet and these downloads of all these things coming in, of every single perspective that kind of exists. It's only I don't want to say just a few degrees away. It's like 10 degrees or so away of the what's it called? It's escaping me right now. Oh, where's the Akashic Records located at? Anyway, it's escaping me. It's this library of knowledge.
The halls of Amenti.
The what?
The halls of Amenti.
Yeah, but what's the thing at 27 degrees Sag?
Oh, the Galactic Center?
The Galactic Center, thank you. So both of these things, they're right there in Sagittarius. But I wanted to read a little bit about the Great Attractor. There was an article that I found. And I'm going to read a little bit about this. And then I was connecting some dots about just the alignment where we're at now in comparison to the Gemini full moon that we had December 7th, where the moon and the sun were flipped. So here's an excerpt that is by Philip Sedgwick, and I'm just going to read some highlighted notes. So the Great Attractor, a massive galactic anomaly. This enigma slowly sips upon a liquid-like flow of galaxies, drawing them into its huge gravitational grip, following a river-like stream at an astonishing 600 kilometers per second. What the Great Attractor is remains a mystery. It clearly reveals relativistic characteristics, those of warping time and space while bending light with its massive gravity, but it lacks the event horizon required for it to be a black hole. The enormous gravity of the Great Attractor actually bends light around it. It bends the light so much that a glimpse of what is behind it can be taken. This quality of gravitational lensing provides clear behind-the-scenes insights, while simultaneously offering other refractive illusions. While this complex point actively recedes, it summons an energy of come hither. Once engaged, this pull exceeds anything known. The attraction to this point possesses a seductive tone, but in a classical Sagittarian mode. There's something about it. It seems to possess this energy. It's mysterious, it's captivating. It might even be a direct personification of the Creator. Regardless, it knows something you have to know. One thinks, while the path into the Great Attractor might tear me apart with unimaginable tidal forces, flood me inside and out with radiation of unknown proportion or whatever, I simply must seek out this knowledge. In fact, the knowledge factors of this enigma are so strong that one will risk the factuality of their own beliefs in the interest of pure knowledge. A factor that emerges within the Great Attractor is that of free will. Do we have free will in consciousness? Or do we remain subject to the immutable laws of the physical forces of nature? Something interesting does precede the gravitational capture. That notation comes in the form of curiosity. To be curious, one must fixate attention on a specific factor. Once tuned to a set frequency of attention, the investigative inquiry sets course of pursuit. It captures interest and draws attention. A choice occurs in which one agrees to fix attention to a specific frequency. The Great Attractor symbolizes the most interesting informational flyer put out by a cult. Once inside the walls of such a consciousness dictatorship, escape remains difficult to nearly impossible. The same idea applies to those who believe they attach themselves to the absolute truth as rendered by the very mouth of God to their selective ears. Initially, needing to know how life really works creates the best engraved invitation one might ever see. Curiosity creates a conscious choice, and according to the Great Attractor, it is worth risking personal rightness and righteousness. The Great Attractor, like many galactic points, emanates freely in all spectrums. To be fully attuned requires internal responsiveness to all frequencies. Consciousness lies in the inclusion of all frequencies. Rightness prevails in maintaining but one specific critical spectrum as the focus of one's obsession, and with the Great Attractor's wide-ranging nature, A case can be made for anything, no matter if polarized by attachment to consensus reality or not. It makes sense in the eye of the beholder. A narrow view or opinionated nature does not fit with the great attractor. A broader, more inclusive of all variables view works with more infinite precision, not to mention wisdom. There is not one simple answer. Those possessing great attractor contacts thus serve a point of objectivity. They seek to enlighten others to the fact that there is yet another way. The essence of great attractor insists that multiple points be understood in all of the available far-reaching realms of energy emanation. The pull of the great attractor is so strong, it can actually bend light around it. In fact, it could pull a light beam so far around it that the appearance would be one of literally being able to see behind it. Not all light from such a source in space reaches an observer. According to one definition offered, the only light to reach an observer is that light bending through the correct angle. The implications of attitude, knowledge, wisdom, and consciousness in that light suggestion are as massive as the great attractor itself. When the source of the light and its center of mass stand aligned, the resulting light display is the Einstein cross. This could go many directions symbolically. The obvious would be creating absolute unity at the core. In this case, perhaps we could assume the soul's essence contained perfectly in the center of mass of the body, all the while including the influence of things coming from every corner of the cross and direction. The most amazing factor of the lensing is that we can literally see around something. The quote-unquote just around the bend phenomena occurs. This around the bend effect deals with precognition in real time. The immediate environment can be read, or can it? With light and the time it takes to travel even a minimal distance, wouldn't the perception be past tense? For those wondering why psychics cannot get the timing thing right in your future, this might be a starting point. A critical point arises here. If you do see around the bend to perceive an oncoming obstacle or hazard, you adjust. Within the adjustment is correction. You determine a course of action to ensure safe passage. The question is, can you allow yourself to heed the warning, or will the attachment to correctness in one form or another interfere? And I want to just pause before I continue reading, because that paragraph really spoke to what I feel the whole point of this recalibration is. It's to feel into where we're being guided. It's that allowing for the adjustment, allowing ourselves to heed the warning, right? To not go the way it always has been, to not think that it's always going to be a certain way, to not hold us back because of how we feel based upon what has happened in the past. There is this new way that is being presented to us. And again, that invitation is to proceed down the path and to feel our way through, as we've been talking about, feeling for the warmth, going within to really truly listen to our heart and act from there, that link of the solar plexus and the heart. Continuing on, there's just a little bit more in this article. The Great Attractor points out that the observer is the only one with the only meaningful perspective in what matters. Even those standing immediately next to an individual do not catch the same light beams. They might entirely miss the perceived gravity of the situation. So here it's speaking to really knowing our own perspective, but knowing that there are multiple and infinite perspectives around us. But really, only we know what we see and how we feel and the truth of our inner being. And so it's really important to honor that whilst being open to others as well, as everyone else has that same kind of truth. So it's not jumping to some kind of judgment of the way you think things are going to be done, from judgment of the source. It's taking a second to be like, oh, well, that's interesting. And to be curious to see perhaps where they are coming from, seeing if you can relate. And this is where the work and the new learning experiences are going to be in the realm of, as we switch our access into the Aries and Libra lunar nodes. This sense of self within relationship to others. Carrying on. The Great Attractor reminds us that all knowledge must evolve in order for us to be aligned in any moment with full consciousness. The Great Attractor notes that we cannot forget the past. Clear perception of now sets the stage. We cannot ignore the forthcoming. Equally, maybe even more significantly, the view of the moment and its perception of in front and behind remains the most important view to hold clearly. The Great Attractor reveals the present state in full, unlimited, and wide-ranging attention. Where should the view be placed? Can that view be upheld while understanding that all points of view simultaneously exist? Perhaps seeing Einstein's cross would be ideal. Center the source of your light within the matter of your life. What matters clearly focuses your truth. So, again, this is where this full moon is taking place. Back on December 7th, we had the full moon in Gemini, and it was swapped, right? So the sun was at, it wasn't at the same degree point. It was a couple degrees off at 16 degrees and something, but still conjunct the Great Attractor. As the exact thing is 14 degrees of Sagittarius. So still conjunct. And the moon was in Gemini alongside Mars retrograde. So back in December, when this all began, Mars was here gaining new ways of thinking about things, just beginning to really think about something different. And the moon was right along its side, offering its support, that Venusian energy. So now we move around 6 months later, and the moon is now where the sun was, in Sagittarius, at the Great Attractor, and the sun is now in Gemini. And the way I was feeling this was, the mental recalibration, the emotional recalibration, and now there is with the moon, this receptive yin celestial object that absorbs, reflects the light of the sun. With the moon here at the Great Attractor, it's like we're now integrating all of these cosmic light codes and downloads that we have been receiving over the past 6 months. They're really becoming more embodied. We think again to the moon being yin, it's soaking into us. So I feel as though with this full moon, with the sun being in Gemini, there's like this solar consciousness, this awareness that is flooding in through our crown, through our third eye, filtering in all the way through our bodies, our emotional bodies, our mental bodies, even our physical bodies. We feel these sensations coming up, these perhaps symptoms coming up, right? This solar consciousness needs a place to land. And in order for it to truly land, other things need to leave. Things need to make space for something to come in. And we perhaps can look back 6 months ago to see where something was, and now where we're at of like, wow, it's getting closer. We can really feel a difference. And as I'm talking, I'm just blown away again. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm 6 months pregnant. And it's like, I remember back to when like first hearing the news, and I was like, oh my God, it was a lot of mental activity of, what does this mean for my life? How am I going to move forward? It was all these ways of thinking that ship had sailed, that timeline was done. All of these things being reworked in my brain to like accept this new life. And then it went into the emotional purging. And that was so intense. I mean, I'm getting emotional just thinking back to it. I could cry of like how much was coming out of me of the fear and perhaps past traumas and all of the stuff to just feel as though I was worthy and capable of bringing a new life into this world, of accepting a new role of being, in this instance, being a mother. And now, here we are 6 months later, where I'm like, I see it in my body, and the body continues to expand and continues to grow. And there's still these feelings coming up of, for those that have given birth, no, like it just keeps growing and growing, and finding that comfort within the discomfort is more and more of a challenge at times. But it's like focusing on the love within you, focusing on something so pure and innocent that you live for that. Like that's what drives you. And this then reflects this new transit that we're going to be having with Mars and Venus entering Leo. Leo rules the heart. So it's this masculine leading the feminine, and it's everything we choose to do right now there's these choices that are coming with Gemini. There's always these choices. And are our choices aligned with that which lights us up, that fills us with love, that fills us with excitement, that fills us with perhaps even a greater purpose than we have known up until this point? So with this full moon and with this journey today, I would like to set the intention of allowing these solar codes, these light codes, to come in to assist with letting go of still any kind of energetic debris or densities that need to be released from the soil. Now I'm seeing the golden worms from the dreams of just opening, aerating that soil, right? We can think about this energy going through our meridians, through our nadis, through our nervous system, all these little branches that connect our body, the web of our body. So allowing this energy to come through us today as we engage in this meditation and transmission, and to visualize that, to visualize anything that's stuck, to open up, like we did in one of the Khora Heart Awakening courses, that with the golden liquid light Drano, to clear away the gunk from all the different pipes of our existence. And just to save on time, because I could keep talking and talking and talking about all of this, but I invite you all to look at the 35th and 5th gene key, as the 35th gene key is entitled Wormholes and Miracles, and it talks directly to this bending of light, this great attractor energy, this seeing behind the curtain, seeing a new way where miracles can exist. And the 5th gene key, titled The Ending of Time, and it just speaks to the great secret of the timing of life, and it's trusting in the universal rhythm and natural timing. So we have this beautiful dance again between the 5th and the 35th, representing the 5th being the feminine and the 35th being the masculine. And I invite you all to read into more of that, or perhaps we can continue to discuss these gene keys in the days and weeks to come, up until this Sagittarius full moon, again happening on June 3rd. So, without further ado, let us do some meditation. Let's center ourselves, and then we will get into the healing journey, transmission, whatever comes through today. I'm not exactly sure what it's going to be, but we've set the intention, and you have the paintbrush to paint in the details of these energies. Finding your comfortable seat in vertical alignment, slightly tucking your chin, engaging your core, feeling the crown of your head and the tip of your tailbone, making any minor adjustments to feel centered, aligned. Bringing your awareness to your heart. Every inhale and exhale, seeing this expansion, these light rays, and then this contraction, this pulsing, this light emanating from within. Focusing all of your awareness at the center, sacred core of your heart. Seeing it expand. Seeing these light rays begin to touch the chakras, extending out, reaching out, beginning to encompass more of our body. Unifying us. Breathing in. Unify. Exhaling. Breathing in. Unify. Exhaling. Breathing in. Unify. Exhaling. And seeing this light grow brighter and brighter with your own breath at your own pace. Calling Mother, Father, God, Holy Spirit, please surround us in pure white light, creating a sacred space for this healing transmission to occur. Calling in all the angels and archangels of the heavenly realms, all of the ascended masters, teachers, and her guides. Please be with us. Please protect us in every direction, on every level, and on every plane of existence. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please, Spirit, please help us to find our center. Please help us to be open to receive these cosmic light codes, these solar consciousness downloads that are available to us now in our highest good and the highest good of all involved. Please allow us to be open and to receive this new light with ease and grace. Please, Spirit, please assist us with letting go of all that no longer is serving us in this moment, our path forward, and all that is no longer in alignment with the highest expression of our souls. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please allow us to let go and make space with ease and grace, with gratitude and love for all that it once served, for all that it once brought into our life, and for it to now be let go and be recycled anew, providing new sustenance, new life force energy to all that we are now wanting to grow, being encouraged to grow into these beautiful, abundant gardens of our lives. Honoring the four directions, to the north in earth, to the east in air, to the south in fire, to the west in water. Please, Spirit, please help us to recalibrate to our true north that is in resonance with our high heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and so it is. And imagining now a beautiful golden sphere of light coming down from the heavenly cosmos, floating down, as it is being pulled from the magnet within our heart space, drawing this golden sphere in, down, closer to our alpha chakra, 8 inches above our head. And imagining our alpha chakra as this beautiful golden chalice, crystalline chalice. And this golden sphere of light now sits in the cup, and seeing it release this golden liquid light plasma, crystalline waters, liquid light filling this cup. Seeing our guides, angels, ascended masters, all there holding this chalice. Perhaps seeing the intricacies, what this chalice looks like. And as it becomes full, seeing how together they pour this chalice now down and into our crown. Feeling this liquid living light permeate into, through, and around our body, beginning at our crown chakra, into our third eye, into, through, and around our cranial cavities, hemispheres of our brain, into, through, and around tissues, bones, weaving back and forth, inside and out, left and right, up and down. This beautiful pattern of the infinity symbol, and always intersecting at our inner pillar of light, our central axis, our source light consciousness stream. Seeing this liquid golden living light descend down the rest of our head into our face, our ears, our nose, our mouth, backs of our throat, fronts of our throat. Feeling this throat chakra expand, open, purify. Seeing this beautiful blue hue. Liquid golden light clears out any clouds, any residue. Seeing the space open up. This liquid golden light travels now down across your shoulder blades, your collarbones, opening up the upper parts of your chest, opening up your wings, using your breath to open this up even more, help this light to expand out down into your arms, feeling perhaps the tingles in your fingers, feeling the life force in your fingertips. Sensing this light drip down your chest cavity, down your side bodies, into, through, and around your ribs, into your lungs, down into your diaphragm, breathing and expanding. Exhaling, dispersing. Observing how this light travels down further into your stomach, liver, and gallbladder, spleen and pancreas, intestines, kidneys, adrenals. Into, through, and around the interstitial spaces, every twist and turn. Traveling down now into your sacral chakra, to your hips, to your sexual glands and organs. Inviting this light into the base of your spine at your sacrum. Breathing this light in there. inviting this light to awaken Kundalini life force, Shakti energy, inviting this light in to permeate into the dormant serpent in our spine. Allowing this energy to move back and forth through your hips and around. Seeing this fluid movement. Inviting this energy in to permeate into our skin, allowing us to shed any old skins, to continue rebirthing the new. Feeling this energy stir and whirl and spin inside of you. This energy continues to move down your legs, helping to root and ground you in, providing that stable footing, balance, with your feet firmly planted on the ground, connected into the heart of Mother Earth. Now seeing if you can sense as you, as the center point, the bridge of the sun and the moon. The sun above you, Gemini, the moon beneath you, through the earth on the other side. At this point of the great attractor, seeing this golden snake-like energy, this Kundalini energy move up your spine, opening up, helping to open up this channel. Seeing these two snakes of masculine and feminine weaving in and out and around your central pillar of light, opening up. Perhaps making any subtle movements in your body as this happens, as we invite this energy in. Feeling this wave-like energy around, back and forth. And feeling this now open connection between the sun, sun's rays, solar consciousness, being attracted down into and through your body. Feeling this go through your crown, your third eye, your throat, bringing special awareness now to your heart. And the connections between the heart and the solar plexus. activating this solar ganglion, the sense of power, the space of true heart-mind alignment, union, our inner sun. Seeing this liquid plasma light work through the soil of our body to help us root, to help that heart root into the solar plexus. Seeing these connections from our mind, from our higher mind, crown, our third eye, our throat, seeing all of this connect, these tiny filaments of light connecting into our heart and connecting into our solar plexus, and seeing it travel down further all the way through our physical bodies, through the sacral, through the root, down below through our omega chakra, and all the way through to where the moon is at the location of this great attractor, and allowing this moon to support us, to assist us in trusting in the natural cycles of life, the phases, feeling, breathing here. Allowing this energy to fully permeate into, through, and around our body, to invite in this new awareness, to see around the bend, perhaps, to see a new avenue, to see and create a new wormhole be made that contains these miracles, that follows the flow of nature, that supports the feminine, our feminine nurturing our masculine, together birthing this new life in alignment with all that matters most, in alignment with our passions, our loves, our desires. Please, Spirit, please help us to anchor, lock, and seal this healing blessing in, helping us to continue to expand with ease and grace. Might be feeling heat in your body. You might be feeling a real big heart opening. Just keep breathing. Rolling your shoulders back, up and back. Spirit, these masters, archangels, please assist us removing anything that is no longer serving us. It's within our field. And to send this right into the light, right into and through our hearts, into that sacred core, back up to source, with gratitude and with love. A couple more cleansing breaths. Feeling our bodies, listening, listening to any movements that it needs to make. Ushotoria tianara tola katanamatia tarati tula 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 tututititititititi ushotola tikatanimala chiti katima sati ala itia kura la katanai hasatola taniyama dati katia sati yanara itia kai. Spirit, please anchor, lock, seal. The sealing blessing activation now and for all of eternity. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and so it is.